We are constantly told to wait. Wait until the business plan is airtight. Wait until the timing is right. Wait until the product is flawless. Look at Tesla's highly anticipated humanoid robot. At major tech expos, it stands completely motionless behind a clear glass display case. Instead of walking the floor or performing tasks, it is kept isolated from the real world until it achieves a supposed state of perfection. This same paralysis happens on a human scale. Shulin Lee spent 4 years as a highly paid lawyer, trapped in a high-stress, deeply unfulfilling career. She stayed because the job met societal standards of success. It looked perfect from the outside. Fear of the unknown keeps us frozen, whether evaluating a career move or a product launch. The terror of failing forces people and organizations to cling to a current state that is actively making them miserable or obsolete. A multi-billion-dollar tech company isolating its flagship product and a burnt-out professional refusing to quit share the exact same flaw. Waiting for the flawless moment doesn't ensure success. It guarantees stagnation. The antidote to this stagnation is happening right now in the hyper-accelerated tech ecosystem of Shanghai. At the Appliance and Electronics World Expo, or AWE, a massive annual trade show for consumer technology, companies intentionally abandon rigid multi-year product roadmaps. Instead, they build prototypes and throw those wild ideas directly into the consumer market to see what survives. The scale of this rapid expansion is massive. Legacy panel and screen manufacturers like TCL are aggressively diversifying, building massive exhibition footprints to launch entirely new lines of smart home appliances. They're deploying highly experimental hardware to the public right now. You will find AI refrigerators that use internal cameras to track your groceries, desktop screens that fold up to fit inside a backpack, and massive personal drones designed to launch from an electric vehicle. Compare that to the stationary robot behind glass. Local competitors like Unitree, a robotics firm specializing in dynamic legged movement, have their humanoid models and robot dogs freely walking the expo floor, actively interacting with the crowds. These companies prioritize speed to market over initial polish. They accept the messy reality of early versions because getting a functioning device into the hands of thousands of consumers generates immediate feedback. At the macro level, technological dominance is currently being won by the sheer volume of rapid, messy execution, rather than the precision of isolated planning. To see how rapid iteration works on a personal level, we look back to Shulin Lee. She finally broke out of her own glass box and quit her $200,000 law job. The immediate social friction she faced was intense. Moving from a prestigious legal identity into the gritty, sales-driven world of corporate recruitment felt like a massive downgrade. She faced embarrassment calling friends for leads and constantly worried about what colleagues were saying behind her back. She survived the transition through one core mechanic. She operated entirely without a plan B. By burning the boats and refusing to look back at the law, she substituted careful, hesitant planning with raw, unfiltered action. The daily reality of this phase was brutal. She made hundreds of cold calls, worked until midnight, took the train on Saturdays, and endured constant rejection to slowly build professional momentum. She then compounded this chaos by deciding to launch her own business at the exact same time she had her first baby. She completely defied conventional advice about waiting for the right timing. Figuring it out as you go is often treated as a sign of incompetence. In practice, it is a highly aggressive, deeply valid operational strategy for rapid growth. Taking immediate action, even if the first few steps are clumsy or wrong, forces you to learn and adapt to reality far faster than sitting in a room waiting for clarity ever could. This diagram shows a cyclical feedback loop replacing a linear timeline. A bias toward action certainly creates chaos, but that chaos generates one specific asset you cannot get any other way: real-world data. This data is impossible to simulate in a lab or a spreadsheet. The tech industry feeds this real-world feedback back into their hardware. The data from messy early prototypes allows engineers to refine them into highly specialized tools, like robotic assistants calibrated for elderly fall detection, or laundry machines that process natural language commands. Shulin Lee applied this exact same feedback loop to her personal life. She used the friction and stress of her chaotic new schedule to identify the specific areas where her own system needed to be optimized. Investments like personal therapy, marriage counseling, and hiring a sleep trainer for her child are often framed as responses to failure. Instead, they are deliberate, data-driven optimizations of a complex human life. By embracing this continuous cycle of messy action and subsequent refinement, she built a highly successful recruitment firm while navigating the intense demands of motherhood. The perfectly polished, futuristic product will never exist on the first try. You will never feel entirely ready to change your career, end a bad partnership, or drastically alter your life's trajectory. The only way to break out of stagnation, whether you are trying to build the next global AI ecosystem or simply build a meaningful life, is to do first and figure the rest out later.